Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here. Today we're going to be reviewing The Web Planet. We'll start with part 6 and then I'll talk about the story as a whole. Part 6 was okay. It's not as good as part 5. I did actually like episode 5. It kind of redeemed the story a bit because I'm telling you, when I was finishing episode 4, I was really in that place where I was like, this may be the worst classic Doctor Who story I've ever seen. It may be worse than Power of Prowl. It may even be worse than the Gunfighters, that song and all. I was just at a real low place with this story after episode 4. Really after episodes 3 and 4. I was like, this is going on the never watch again list. But I liked episode 5. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't like top tier Doctor Who or anything, but I found myself enjoying it. So I liked that. Episode 6, I liked. I did kind of get to that point where I kind of wanted it to just get through, despite liking the kind of extended ending it has. I'll talk about that in a second, but I was kind of at that point, since it wasn't quite gripping me the way episode 5 did. I kind of just wanted to get finished with it, but it wasn't bad. It didn't bother me like earlier episodes like 3 and 4 did. I did like the room at the end with the actual creature in it. That whole room, which I guess is supposed to be spider webs, looked pretty neat. I like that. I love the fact Barbara's the one in the end that kind of saved the day with the thing in her hand. The way that scene is choreographed is a little weird because she's like, it's not working, and then suddenly it is working. I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot going on right there. I'm just like, And then Ian comes out of another hole in that same room, and you can actually see him mouth Barbara. He goes, but there's no sound, so he says her name, but we never hear it. Like, that's just edited wrong. Like I said, it's a little tricky right there, and it seems like it affects the bees or moth people more, and it's a little confusing. But the actual room looks nice, and I like how the creature kind of is a spider. It's like, I'm guessing the thing up top is like the spider, and then there's the little glowing ball. It's weird. It looks neat, but it's really weird. I do like the fact that happened earlier than I thought it was going to happen in the episode. So it has this kind of Lord of the Rings or End of Time kind of extended ending where you kind of see the aftermath of everything with the water and them talking about rebuilding. I kind of enjoyed that. I kind of wanted it to hurry up and wrap it up. But at the same time, I enjoyed that. The part about Ian talking about his tie goes on for too long. I like the fact he mentions it, but he should have just mentioned it. They had a chuckle and that was it. But they go on about that a little too long. And then, of course, the TARDIS leaves. And then it still shows them chatting about rebuilding and all that a little. It was all right. I can't believe that Vicky had dropped the thing, though. She just had... It's like she had a Susan moment and just dropped it. And I'm like, really? Yeah, episode 6 was fine. It was okay. It still has some of the Vaseline camera stuff going on, which... If that was a conscious decision on their part, that was a very dumb decision. Especially since only 1 or 2 of the cameras have it. It's really weird. It's very irksome. That's one of the things I liked about episode 5. There wasn't much of that. As a whole, it's not good. Episode 5 is kind of the saving grace. Again, I like episode 5. And episode 6 is fine. But really, the first 4 episodes... This is easily one of my least favorite Doctor Who stories, especially in classic Who. I mean, I can think of a lot of modern Who stories that are probably worse, like Kill the Moon, Forest of the Night, Fear Her, Oxygen, the second and third parts of the Monk trilogy. I mean, there's most of Series 11. There's a lot of modern Who that's just really bad. There's a lot that's really good, to be clear. There's a lot of modern Who that's really good. There's a lot that's really bad. There's a lot that's somewhere in between. There's not a lot of classic Who, honestly, that I just find bad. Like, to the point of being almost unwatchable, where I don't want to rewatch it. I don't know if this is one I'll ever want to go back and rewatch again. It's really not good overall to me. Even taking classic Who budget limitations, even taking that, keeping that in mind, it's just, they obviously couldn't pull off what they were trying to pull off. Kind of like with Power of Prowl, And much like Power Crawl, the story ideas are there. There's actually a really creepy story in there. They just, they can't realize it. Either they couldn't realize it or it wasn't realized properly with the money available. Power Crawl, I've always said, has a decent to good script. It's Robert Holmes, after all. But the realization is just god-awful. And that's mostly the problem here. I did adjust to the moth people to where their outfits didn't really bother me like they did at first. By the end of it, I was fine with their outfits. I've talked before about, I actually like the Zarbi outfits. My only complaint's the human legs. And there are times they go out of their way to hide that. I actually thought the Zarbi were pulled off pretty well. I didn't like the grub people or slug people or whatever they're supposed to be, not slug. But yeah, I guess the grub people, the caterpillar-like people, I didn't like them. I didn't like their costume design. I didn't like the one actor with the weird voice, the way he talked. They just needed to not be in the story. You should have taken them out of the story, done something else at the end, and cut this down to a 4-parter. Like, honestly, if you asked me what my least favorite Hartnell story is, I'm not sure. It would probably be either this or the Gunfighters. But I don't know. I mean, the Gunfighters, to me, the Gunfighters is mainly bad because I hate that song, and they play it like 76,000 times in that story. If you didn't have the song in it, I would definitely enjoy it more because it has aspects I like. It has the Western aspects I like. Yeah, the accents are kind of bad, but, you know, that just kind of is what it is when you have British people trying to do American accents in the 60s. But there's a lot of the Gunfighters I liked. The guy playing Doc Holliday's great. I liked him in that. And Dodo actually seemed to do some pretty useful stuff in that one, which I enjoyed. Whereas this one, again, there are things sprinkled throughout the first 4 parts that I liked, that I talked about. Some of the actual sets look really good, especially when they're walking around outside. There's some really good shots. And I enjoyed episode 5, and episode 6 is fine. It's those first 4 episodes, I just... Yeah, I didn't like this one. It's one of my least favorite classic Doctor Who stories. If I did like a top 10, and probably even top 5 least favorite classic Who stories, this would be in it. If I did a top 5 classic Who stories I never want to rewatch, this one would be in it. I think I'd rather just get a copy of the Target novelization and read it and let my imagination take over and just the movie in my mind take over. Because I like the novel version of the Gunfighters better than I do the actual story. And I have a feeling that would be the case here. So yes, the web planet. Ooh. Not good. Not good. But I am glad I got to watch it. It is one I had been wanting to see. What do you think of the Web Planet? Comment down below and let me know. Other things to do, click the like button and the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon. If you like what I do and would like to contribute to what I do, go ahead and check that out. There's a link below right there for that. I also have a P.O. box if there's anything you want to send me. That's down there as well, as is also a link to my Amazon wish list, which I update regularly. I want to give a shout out to 2 of my top tier patrons, Stephen Crane and the 5th Doctor. I appreciate their continued support, just as I do the support of all of my patrons. And most importantly, thank you for watching.